Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I have lots to show in this video. I have some knitted projects here. I completed some sewing projects, or they're the same, but I made more than one, and I'll make more sizes for for what the project is. And I started another sewing project. Um, and there's other fabric that, well, they're pillowcases from the thrift store, and I went to Hobby Lobby the other day, and I got one of the fabrics to um, put towards the matenka that I'm going to make. I set aside the main fabrics that I'm using for the matenka, so I will have it maybe in the video when I start making it. So I think I'll go into the knitted projects first. So I did cast on the 4th of July. I didn't really do like filming on the 4th of July because it was really loud, because I didn't know that people um, would do their fireworks. Like, I don't know if it was at their house, but it seemed so close that it was loud. So, I had food that I had, my mom made it a couple weeks ago, and I put it in the freezer for the night when I feel like I would want to bring it out and bake it. So I did that, and I stayed at the house. I didn't really do much, but I did do my mini celebration the day before because I didn't know if the place would be open. So I just took a visit to the um, place that has borscht, and I got the red borscht there, and there was like um, it was a it's a Polish place, and there's a meal where you could get the different combinations. So I got the red borscht, and I tried their pierogies. Um, and I'm happy I tried the borscht. It tastes like vegetable soup to me, so I like vegetable soup. I just went by myself. So they say that if you could eat out by yourself, like you could do a lot of things in life. So I didn't care. I was just like, well, I want to try it, and the place looks cool, so um, I did that, and stayed at the house for the next day, the 4th. Um, so I did cast on. This is the sweater by the Finnish knitwear designer Jenna Kostedt, and it is from the knitted Kabbalah Volume 1 and the pattern with the horse. Um, I feel like the English translation to lay down your burdens. Um, I'd have to double check, so I wouldn't quote me on that. But I've always loved this pattern, and I didn't know when I would do it. Um, I'm happy that I'm using this yarn because I've had it for a while, and it's more accessible than some of the yarns that I have, because I have most of the yarn, but I don't have all the yarn for the project. So, um, and um, it's a thicker yarn for what the pattern calls for, but I don't mind that because the way that the pattern seems to be, even though I was looking at the bust circumference, it seems to have a long yoke that goes like this. There is shaping here, but after a while I feel like it is more on the this type of shape that's making instead of it being more like fanning more, if that makes sense. But I have to try it on to see how the fit really is. But based off of what I saw on the chart and um the way that I see the sweater to be like, um I'll be able to see after I finish knitting the colorwork portion. So I am going up some needle sizes, and um, I did go up a size just in case for that because I don't want it to kind of um, hug to my body that much. I want to be mobile in it. So I feel like this is nice. I initially had it with a different yarn when I started it like years ago, and then I needed the yarn for something else because I didn't feel like buying yarn, and I had a larger quantity of it, and I actually test knit the project that I used the yarn for. So with but, well, it was Jenna Kosket's, sorry about my pronunciation, one of her patterns, um, around this time of the year that I started it. So, and the test knit was only for the yoke and then getting past the yoke. And I saw the pattern was recently published in a book. So, um, that one was, she did full color work, um, and it was using, the inspiration was like using up all the scraps that she had, or a good amount of the scraps. I didn't have um, as much scraps that would go together, well, that I felt like would go together for one garment, so I just made the yoke all scraps, and then I finished it with one color. And I did wear it a lot over the colder seasons. And it was a fun one because it was kind of like a t-shirt, but I had like a hoodie underneath, and it was an outfit that was kind of unique for me because I don't really wear like sporty things. it was interesting because um, growing up, like a lot of times my parents would, or like parents kind of like pick out your clothes, and I think that might be a part of me adventuring with different types of clothing, but I think it another portion could be um, because I went to a school where I had a uniform. Well, schools that I had a uniform for elementary school and high school, except for that 1 month. Um, and then I also just like expressing myself with different things that um, I just put like my stamp on. So it's fun making stuff. And this next one might be a surprise. I think I'm going to change the bag, but I think I might sew a bag that's smaller to fit these. Well, it's technically a pair. So this is a project from a while ago, and you can see it's a saw. I was thinking about ripping it out a while ago, or for a while, because I just don't really knit socks. Um, and this is like one of my more expensive socks, and I was thinking, wouldn't I want to see it somewhere else besides in a sock? I know some people absolutely love sock knitting. I like knitting mittens, but I don't. I feel like one of the things about sock knitting is I wear a lot of boots. Even in the summertime, I wear boots. I have switched out to my Converse boots. I don't wear my furry boots here, but when I was on the East Coast, I was able to. So, um, I don't really get to see the sock that much. Even when I wear the shorter boots that are like a little past my ankle, my leather ones, um, I still don't see the sock. And the main time when I would see it is if I wore my sneakers, and I have one pair of sneakers that I wear, and they're my green and pink Adidas. Um, and I mainly wear that for like class because I have to wear scrubs. So, and then those types of shoes for that environment. So I don't really see socks often. And it's not like I don't own socks. I have socks, but it's not like I own other stuff. I like own stuff, but I like to knit or at this point sew things. So I would like to bring this to class and just get this sock complete. Um, because I've gotten to the point of it where I am not adjusting the stitch count for this portion of it until I get to the toe area. So I could just keep knitting. And I do love color work the most for knitting. I realize that I like to knit sometimes when I am listening to something, specifically with the class. So sometimes I just have this so I don't reference anything. Um, and if it's color work, I do still use it or still knit it a lot, mainly actually. But this is nice too. Sorry, I keep just like moving it. And I did start the second cuff, so I have ways to go. So it's there's like there's progress here because if I rip it out um and redo it or something, I don't know. I don't know when that would be because I I don't know if I would be in the mood to do that. I feel like at this point it might be around one pair of socks a year, which is actually perfect because again I have socks. They're not all knit, majority of them. Well, they're not all hand knit. Majority of them aren't hand knit, but um, it'd be cool to have some hand knit socks. And I think I'll definitely have leftover to do something else with it, so I really wanted to add it to another project. This isn't yarn that I usually have the weight of for uh like a sweater, but I'll see either that or I can make another pair of socks with these after this. Because I'm knitting the cuff in a different color too. I could be I might be able to make maybe a shorter pair. I'll have to see. Um oh yeah, my kitchen scale is arriving today. It's Sunday. I'm filming late. And sorry, I'm hoping that when I sew a bag for it that maybe there'll be more excitement with it. I'll see. But it would be kind of cool to knit or sew a bag anyway. Um, I really wanted a kitchen scale. I didn't know when I would get it, and then I decided to get it because one of the sourdough videos that I watch, um, I saw the scale that she used, and I wanted to get one that was one that people were like, this is one that I feel like you would do well with. And for Natasha's Kitchen, I saw her scale that she used, but it was really expensive, so I didn't get that one. It was like almost $50. So mine is definitely not nearly as expensive as that, but I think it's definitely useful. So I'm gonna make sourdough. I fed my starter, and I think in the morning I'll have to pop in downstairs to start the process. But I was also gonna make pasta today too. I'm gonna split the recipe. Um, cause it makes a lot more bread than what I need, and it's a lot of butter. I'm sure that it's gonna, just by looking at the ingredients, it sounds like definitely something that I'll just eat a lot of. Um, because if I did the full recipe, it would be 2 sticks of butter, and that's a lot for my butter stash. Because I also wanted to make Kiev chicken too, so I might just make 2 preps of Kiev chicken. Two is usually okay for me because if I like a meal, I'm definitely okay with eating it for 2 meals. That's how I prepped the salmon too for the most part. There's some like smaller pieces for when I eat it for smaller meals. But for the most part, I have like two that kind of fit in the bag that I put them in, the separate bags. And but then if I really like, there's some meals that are kind of like part of my, if I had a routine, but I guess kind of because some foods I eat like most days, and then the food that I prepare uh, specific for specific days, and I want leftovers. Like two is nice. Um, oh, and I did drop some of the Medivac at my godmother's house. She has a house here. Um, so because I made a whole cake and um, I figured that they might want to eat some of it because I love that recipe and it's been a hit. So um, I've been eating it, but I was probably going to put the rest of it in the freezer for it, the time being because I ate a lot of it. Um, it's lactose free. The way that I put it together, you just substitute some ingredients for lactose free ones. So um, then, well, if I make pie, because I do have blueberries, but that also takes a lot of butter too. But I'm not doing a full butter crust. Um, I could, but again, that's a lot of butter from my stash. So, I'll see. But I do have a lot of sewing stuff, as I showed in one of my last video. I made some bowl covers. I have some stuff in it. So, um, well, I didn't measure these, but these came from fabrics. But, um, I was making some box or squares. So this is a 5 by 5. I did do a 9 by 9 because I was using it, so I don't have it here. I could have, but I forgot it on the table. And this is a 4 by 4, but I think I might have this as a 4 by 4. And I have the ruler, so it's not just going against this. And this is a 2 by 2. So at some point I'll get like the measuring stuff because I kind of think like, am I going to be able to move with it? Because I don't want it to be like, again, well, too heavy, but also too much space. Because I have a lot of my fiber equipment, and I'll have to see. Oh, but again, this is a lot in the video. I put some I reorganized some of the sewing stuff and will put the current knitted projects in my the bag that I got at the flea market last year that I used a lot in the winter time when I went to the bookstore to knit. So I might show that in another video again. I do really love that one because um I remember a couple videos back I was talking about how I was like leaving my room. I tend to go to the kitchen like at night at the best schedule, but because my dad just watches TV most of the day until he goes up to sleep. And so that's kind of like when I go to the kitchen. Well, my parents are not home for the next couple months. But one night there was like a big bug that was like flying around. And so I closed the door and then I waited a little bit because it was like literally right there. And then I saw, because my mom has like an altar in the hallway, and there was like a moth, like a dead moth there. And like, I mean, I don't know, I don't think she put it there, but I also um don't want to touch it just in case. But I was like, oh my god, this is the first time I've ever seen a moth in person, to be honest. And I was like, good thing my door is closed. So now I want to put away like at least the garments. I have some knitted stuff just like decorating the room too. So I'll be careful with those things. Um, but that's what started this whole fiasco of doing that. But I'll show the bowl covers in this video too. So this is the kitchen aid, and I saw this, I don't know, are they reels? They're shorts on YouTube on making a bowl cover. So I measured or traced the circumference of the bowl and added 2 inches, and then there were 2 pieces, so you sew them together, put it inside out, and then um, added a space for the elastic to go through. So, well, maybe depending on your elastic, you would adjust the room. But um, I did add like an inch of space, and then I used the pin, or is it the pin to, I don't know, I don't think I'm, is it, but I used it to run it through the run the elastic through, and then I tied it off. You could also sew it off, and it it looks like a giant like um mason jar cover. I thought this was good timing for making the breads, because, well, this bowl, it can, you can put plastic or plastic wrap on it, but there's the other bowl that doesn't take plastic. It technically has a lid on it, but the lid is hard to take off. And I don't always want to, well, I don't want to, I want to use plastic in general. So this is really fun. I'm trying not to have it reflect. But I have where this fabric. It's interesting because I feel like it was for like it was for a table because of the shape of the fabric, and I didn't have enough for a skirt length, well, for the skirt length that I wanted. So it was in my stash, and it's nice that it's getting used. Um, I was thinking about putting it in my next project, which is, well, the one that I started, which is like a patchwork skirt. But the fabric isn't this like the other fabric. So I feel like it's okay with making more full covers because there are more that I want to make, like the glass bowl too. And then this was like the main bowl because you could just put like a towel over it, but then the air would get in and it kind of dries out the dough. So this is the other one, and I love having them. I may make another one of this size specifically because my mom has a lot of these types of bowls. And then we're gonna keep this with this. I might bring the KitchenAid cover with me just in case, like in the future, if I get a KitchenAid, they're expensive. They're a couple $100s, but maybe down the line at some point. Um, and then leave the other sizes here for her bowls. So, as I said, I started a patchwork project, and um, I'm just really super excited for it because um, I love putting together different fabrics. I think it's fun to me combining um, different fabrics together. Um, and I want to make a case using scraps too. So I think with sewing, I'm getting like an idea of what I really enjoy doing, and I like to put colors together. And um, I don't really like listening to directions. I I like having some sort of direction where it gives you like a general idea of like where to go with it, but so many directions, um, I don't. Well, maybe down the line when I take a lot of those things that I learned. So, um, I did, well, I watched two main channels. So, the patchwork skirt is off of Chelsea She Sews Seams. And I've also been watching uh, another YouTube channel that she also likes to make her own patterns and things around the house. Um, just things that you would want to have. And it's sewing handmade. Hachiko Hariyama. So there are subtitles for hers. And she did like this really big project where there was just so many bags to make because it was one of her child's birthdays, and there was a birthday party for like the and the her friends were coming over. Then she made like bags for all of them to like have like the goodie bag, and um, there's so many, and she used up all of her, not all of her scraps, but they were scrap bags, and I really like the coin purse. I um, that's why I want to make a case. I saw some of her fabrics, and I really love like some of the patterns. I'm not sure if they're Japanese or not, because I know she had, uh, I know of one at least that she had imported, and she does go to this American craft store in Japan. So, um, I'm not sure one which ones are the ones where she's from, and I heard maybe like one or two fabric brands or designers, but I wouldn't be able to pinpoint like or differentiate them. And it's not to say that like it's because I'm indifferent about them, because I don't know much about the designer ones. But um, I saw the patchwork skirt on She Sews Seams, and I immediately was like, I'm gonna do it because I love the concept. I love all the colors that she had on hers. I started cutting it using my rotary cutter. Um, I feel like majority of them I'm going to use, and I'm still thinking. So I have my special one because this is like the only one that I can make. Well, because I'm doing larger squares, and she did give what she did. So you do your measurement around where you want the band to be, and then from that measurement you're going to double it, so it's going to be your front and your back, because it's going to um, it'll go like that, you know. I'm not thinking about what it is right now. Um, and then you measure your length of what you want, and then add maybe like 2 inches. Oh, it's gonna cinch in. So this is like the special one because at some point I'll get more of this fabric, but I didn't want to do like so many runs to the store to do it. Although I did go to the thrift store and I saw, well, they're the same pillowcase, but I got 2 pillowcases and then Hobby Lobby. So I was able to get two from the picnic one, the red one, and I do have that one. The what's left over, I'll definitely save because I wanted to use it for a wonky house. This one I'm really excited about because when I was like thinking about whether or not I was gonna put it in the project, but once I like cut it and combined it with the other things, it just like went with it. And I got a couple of squares for that one. Then this one, well, that was actually from the quilt store, the one I just showed. And I, I thought that would be exciting to use because it's one of my, um, it's not about the price, but it is one of the ones from the quilt store, and they have the nice nice stuff there. I mean, of course, I thrifted a lot of the stuff too. And then this, if you could see, it's from Hobby Lobby. I like how it's not just one color. Although I am thinking about adding some blocks that are one color, but I had to think about it. I got a couple out of this one because a lot of these are fat quarters or thrifted. This one isn't thrifted, and it comes in a pack and it's a yard. This was thrifted. This one is like Hobby Lobby, and this will have more of this fabric, and I showed it. It was on sale. I got a yard of it for around $3, and I've been wanting to use this. Again, I put aside fabric that I'm using for my um that I'm gonna make the matenka with. So I haven't touched those, and I have more left over of it because I was kind of thinking maybe I could use it for that one, but I wasn't sure. The main ones I kept. This one, well, these two I'm thinking about. I think it could go because I am adding more bolder ones, but I didn't want to go too um, away from the ones that I was doing. I'm still thinking of it, so I have this one. It's also from Hobby Lobby, and then I also have some from the dollar store too. So the pink feathers or leaves are the one ones from the dollar store, and I got blocks out of this. I'm debating if I'm gonna put them in, but I think I could because it's gonna take like around, well, no, it's gonna take like 45 squares, and I'm gonna do 9, and then I think then 5 for the length, 5 rows. So I feel like that's good for the measurements. So again, I did go to the thrift store and Hobby Lobby at different times. So this was from Hobby Lobby on sale. It was like $2. And I didn't get, I go at different times. So this is going with the Matenka because I just feel like the colors that are going with that one are super autumnal, and I love it because that's my favorite season, not just because it's my birthday season. Um, so this one I'm going to put with those fabrics. I went to the thrift store today, and I just wanted to pay like maybe $1 or two. There was another pillowcase, but I don't know why it was $2 when these are one and these look bigger than the other ones. But this reminded me of like the fabric, and I feel like it could be like vintage inspired, or I don't know if it's vintage or not, but I feel like at least I know a lot of the ones that I like are vintage ones too. I like a lot of floral ones and some traditional ones too, I think. But this was kind of like the what I saw with the fabric on Machika's channel. So I'm not sure if this would be like a vintage type, but I got two of these. Like when I saw it, I was really excited. So it is more on the bolder side, so I'm really thinking, but when I added this, and I used this so much more than I thought I was going to use for the picnic one, I just call it the picnic one. Um, I used it for multiple projects until like I was down to a lot of the scraps, and I'm still going to use it. I have I have plans for it. This So there's two, as I said, and they were $1 each. There's some white there, but these are bigger. I kind of am thinking maybe I want a bandana out of it, but I'm not sure because I tend to go for lighter ones. But this is also red too, so I'll think about it. A lot of the vintage ones have like floral, but I mean maybe modern ones do too. I don't know. Anyway, I really love this one, and I'm happy that I got it. I kind of went to the thrift store because quickly after dropping off the cake, just because they were gonna close, and it was kind of like a last minute thing to go to both places, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be socializing, and I went to the thrift store since I was getting up. So with the bolder colors, I'm definitely going to use these, but I'm still thinking, but I think like possibly, I know for sure I'm going to use them. So I have some of the squares because if I add this one, then it could introduce other bolder colors into the skirt. And again, I'm still debating on if it's going to stray off um, into a different direction, and I'm not sure if it's if it's gonna pull in too many directions. But I definitely want to use this for something. The thing with the skirt is like the patches, they're on the larger side, so some of them I do have like other scraps, and then um, they don't make they don't make the 9x9 that I'm doing. So I'll see. And then lastly, but not the least, because I love this fabric. As you can see, I have it in a lot of things. I do have enough to like of the scraps. I don't have to dig into the larger pieces to do more like the pattern. So I didn't clean up the squares, but I just kind of cut them for now. And I saw the pattern off of Pin Cut, so um, of course, my phone's at 5% because me just not charging it. But so I saw that she had the pattern that I was looking for, and it's the video was about putting half triangles together and what you could do with them. So this was the pattern that I really wanted to do with them. And I'm gonna cut up the blue squares too. And you're kind of like gonna chain piece them and then cut them. So you're combining the two like colors, and you mark where the middle is, but you don't cut the, or you don't like sew the middle. You sew along each side of the middle, and then after that you cut the middle, and then you open it up, and that'll be your half and half of each color of what you want to do. So that, I think that'll be another bag because I had a lot of fun making bags, or the bag. So that was the video. Um, so I I'm excited that I've been doing more stuff and trying to do different recipes. Again, with Natasha's Kitchen, I get a lot of the Ukrainian recipes. I also got that salmon recipe off of her channel, channel and her website too. And I was super happy with it because the salmon was cooked and it wasn't like leathery. It was, and it had like the flavor that I was looking for. Um, so I had more salmon in the fridge, and I had leftover of the sauce because I wasn't gonna do the whole family meal. So I just split it in half like I do with a lot of the recipes because it's a full, except the cake. But I might do for like the Kiev cake to split it just because uh it's a larger cake, it looks like, and it uses a lot of eggs. So I that's also part of my egg stash. Well, I'll just make another video at some point. But I took off I think the screen timer on the laptop just because it was taking so long to upload, and then I would constantly like touch the touchpad to make it not do that. So this is another long video, but uh, I guess I don't have to do that much for it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.